Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and in this video we're going to break down the Arai Ram-X helmet available at RevZilla.com. So what you're going to see here is the replacement for the CTZ and the XC. Arai has done away with both of their 3/4 helmets and they've replaced it with the Ram-X helmet. And this is going to now be pretty much the most premium 3/4 helmet that we're going to have, on the market, coming in just north of that $600 mark for the solid colors. And what you're going to see here is a lot of the same construction elements from Arai's other premium helmets are now going to be carried over into their 3/4 lid. So really breaking down what you're going to get for that, $610, $615 amount is what we're going to really try to show you within this video. So the shell construction is going to be that PBCLC shell, and you're now going to have 5 different shell sizes with 5 EPS liners, so you can really fine tune the fit to make sure that it's going to work for you. The other part of that is that on the inside, when we take a look at this, there's going to be 5mm pads on each side of the head that you can remove. So if you have a little bit of a rounder head, you can take this from being an intermediate oval head shape, which it is, and you can turn it into a little bit more of a rounder head shape. So you can fine tune the fit to make sure it gives you the maximum amount of comfort. Now this is going to be a DOT Snell rated helmet, and it comes in at 3 pounds 5 ounces in a medium when we threw it on the scale. So working our way through what you're getting with this, and like I said, this is replacing the other 2 3/4 helmets within Arai's line, the CTZ and the XC. You are now going to get a helmet that carries over a lot of the DNA from Arai's top-of-the-line Corsair X. And you're going to see that with the ventilation on the top of this. So really when it comes down to it, for a 3/4 helmet, there's not going to be any other helmet in the market that's going to ventilate quite like the Arai. This is going to give you maximum ventilation if you're riding in the warmer months of the year. Yes, you can just open up the face shield, but that kind of eliminates any protection that you get there. So now you're going to get a massive amount of airflow on the top with the chimney vents you're going to see working their way all the way to the back. And they're going to be active vents at the front, and then when you get to the back on this, they're going to be active vents as well, and you're going to see those actuated right down here. Now the main difference between the Ram-X and the Corsair when it comes to the ventilation system is that the spoiler on the back is not adjustable because you're not using this on the racetrack, let's be honest. But with the Corsair X, you get that little adjustment out of the spoiler on the back. You're not going to have that with the Ram-X, and really you're not losing anything there because it's simply not needed on this particular helmet. Now when we're taking a look at the face shield, it's going to be the VAS shield. It will include a pin lock in the box, so if you are riding this in colder months, you still don't want to have to worry about it fogging up. You will have that pin lock ready shield, and then this is going to be the Pro Shield system. Now this is a system that Arai came out with about 2-3 years ago, and it simply sits over top of your existing face shield to add in that shielding from the sun. This is a system that people either love or hate, and this has been kind of a divide amongst Arai users. I own 3 Arai helmets personally. I do not like the Pro Shield system. There's a lot of people that do. It is included in the box. If you don't like it, you can take it off. But for those of you out there that don't like the idea of having to use sunglasses or switch visors to get tints out of it, this is a system that allows you to use the clear shield and then just pop down the tint when you need it. The other thing you'll notice is that in addition to the Pro Shield system, you are going to get the additional vents on the top. Just again, really maximize ventilation is the name of the game. The one thing here to note, and if you are already an Arai user, you know this, to get the face shield on and off, it's a bit of a pain in the butt. There's a little tab down here. You simply push forward and then you pull out, and then you have to kind of push forward and pull out again to get it back on. Arai is not willing to sacrifice the integrity of the shell by creating a real quick release system that's built into the shell. So their quick release system operates, on this mechanism that sits on the exterior of the shell, and they do that, for what their engineers are saying, the safety and the integrity of the shell. So what you're going to see from Arai is a system that's really, unlike anything else out there on the market. It does take a little bit to get used to. Once you figure it out, however, it's relatively, pretty simple to use. It's not my favorite system, but it is what Arai goes with. And if you're like me and you're an Arai user, you just learn to live with some of the quirks. Pulling this around to the back again, you're simply going to notice that you do have those active vents out there, but I just wanted to flip it around one last time to give you a real clear view of the helmet before we jump to the inside. And when we get to the inside of the helmet, there's a couple key notes here to really make. So everything is going to be removable. The cheek pads, I feel, are, pretty much in line with what you'd expect from Arai. They're a little bit hard to get out. The one thing that I really like about this, however, is once you get the cheek pads out, there is really a massive cutaway within these cheek pads for any kind of a speaker pocket or really just for the comfort on your ears in general. So it's extremely comfortable. A lot of times there's extra padding in here. They've done a really good job of giving you this massive cutaway within the cheek pad. And then you'll see, actually let me pull this one out because you can see it better over here. And again, these cheek pads are a little bit problematic. Once you get used to it, they kind of get better, but is a bit difficult. You kind of have to push that last little tab in. They pop out, but you will notice that you have these big cutaways for the speaker pocket. So if you are using a comm system with your 3/4 helmet, really the advantage here is being able to get in there and have the comfort of having the big recesses within the speaker pockets on that. And then you have this little tab here too that you can pull away, and that just kind of gives you that further scoop. So there's a lot of different ways you can configure the inside of the helmet. Now, like I mentioned earlier, in addition to that, you are going to have the extra pads within the liner system itself. So pulling the liner out, you're going to notice that on each side of the liner, you're going to have these little removable foam pads. And once you pull these out, now these are glued in. So once you pull them out, you can't stick them back in, but if you find that there's too much pressure on the side of the head, you can go ahead and you can pull these foam pads out, and then that'll give you an extra 5 millimeters on either side of your noodle for additional space. So what they've really done is they've really worked to fine tune the fit of how this is going to work on your head, and then you'll see there's not any channels cut away on the EPS liner, so that would be a nitpick that I would have. I would love to see some channels actually cut into the EPS liner to help promote that airflow. But again, this is where Arai is really speaking to the integrity of their shell. They do have those air vents that do come through, and you can see them very clearly cut through the entire EPS liner at the top of the shell. But really, the big concern for a lot of people when they're looking at this helmet is the price tag. It is going to carry that premium price tag, and I think for the 3/4 market, it's a little bit harder to justify sometimes than it is with the full face helmets. But what Arai is trying to do is to carry down all of their top line premium fits, finishes, and feel to that 3/4 market. If you are looking for the top of the line 3/4 lid out there, this is pretty much going to sit at the top of the food chain in the world of 3/4 helmets. Now, if you're having trouble figuring out which helmet is right for you and your ride, now is the time that you want to reach out to one of our gear geeks, 877-792-9455, or simply shoot over an email to cs@RevZilla.com. I want to thank you for joining us for this look at the Arai Ram-X helmet. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.